What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another DIY video on my G80 M3. As you guys can see, I've got the hood open, which means we're doing some modifications underneath the hood here. So if you guys can't see over here behind me as well, there is a care package from Northwest Carbon Haus, and we're gonna be adding some extra carbon underneath the hood. So let's show you guys what we got. And if you guys were curious to see what the underside of the hood looks like in its current state, you'll see that we've got quite a bit of bling going on in here at the moment. One being a completely color matched engine cover here. This is Portimao blue, some black as well, super nice. Basically sent that out and had that custom painted to match the body. Additionally, you'll see this really nice Keys executive line carbon fiber strut brace that goes all the way around. I've got a DIY install video for that. And of course, you'll see this super cool looking blue carbon fiber. Those are intakes from Project Gamma. Those are front mount intakes. I've got an install video for that. And you'll see that there's some filters behind the grill here for those intakes. And finally, you'll see that we've got these blue matching Downstar bolts, little dress up kit, just to kind of make things look a little extra spicy. But today, like I mentioned, we've got a care package here from Northwest Carbon Haus. Again, they are a sponsor on the YouTube channel here, so if you guys are looking for any parts from them, definitely hit them up. I will have links in the description below for them as well. And if you guys couldn't already tell, the front lip and the awesome air ducts, both in carbon, are also from Northwest Carbon Haus. So huge sponsor on the channel as well. And today, what we're going to be doing, I'm going to open this box up and show you guys, but we're going to be replacing this kind of ugly little radiator shroud with a carbon one, as well as the DME cover, which is just this cheapo plastic, and we're going to put a carbon one there as well. So all of this is going to get done in today's video because we are headed to Orlando in a few weeks. So if you guys are not familiar, in Orlando in mid-February is basically one of the largest BMW meets in the nation, and this is for Beamer Invasion. And so the dates that I will be there at the show is February 17th, I believe. So I will be down there for a few days before and then leaving on the 18th. So definitely go check out the G80 because it will be at the Northwest Carbon Haus booth. So definitely come say hi, check out the car, take pictures, make sure to tag me in your Instagram posts and all of that. So yeah, let's show you guys what we're gonna be installing today. All right, so I've already cheated a little bit and I've already kind of unpackaged some of this stuff, but super nice. Love the blue. So these are definitely going to go in the car for the show as well. So thanks, Casey, for that. They also always include, this is probably my third or fourth one of these now, is a carbon fiber keychain. So super nice touch as well. Really, really cool. And moment of truth here. Everything is always like super packaged well, and everything fits perfectly from them. And what's great about Northwest Carbon Haus, again, they are a sponsor on the channel, but they are also super high quality parts and great fitment at a fraction of the price of some of these other vendors. So, with that all being said, let's show you guys the first piece, which is going to be the DME cover. So this is going to be full carbon, and will be a direct replacement. Ooh, also I forgot about this. This is for the interior. So we're actually going to be installing this as well. So nice extra little carbon pieces, but super nice. I mean, just the quality of this stuff is just next level. I mean, just look at that. Beautiful carbon weave. And again, direct replacement cover piece, nice and solid. Obviously it's carbon, so really, really nice. So this one will be super easy to install. As you guys can see here, the factory DME cover is underneath the strut brace, so we're gonna have to go ahead and remove that. And for the front here, we'll obviously have to remove some of my little bolts, my dress-up bolts, to get to that. But let's start with this one because this is the easy one. And actually, before I start installing this stuff, I'll just unpackage everything else. So this is for the interior because if you guys weren't aware, BMW did something a little bit weird with these cars. So mine does have the carbon interior trim package. So it's got carbon on the dash, except for this little piece right here. For some reason, this is in gloss black. I don't know why BMW does that, but literally all of them are gloss black, while the rest of it is all carbon. It makes no sense. But either way, we're gonna be putting this on. This is gonna be super easy because it's just a piece that goes directly on top of the existing one with some double-sided tape. And of course, here is our radiator shroud. Again, super nicely packaged. Everything that I've gotten from them has always been super well packaged. So that way nothing gets damaged in shipping. And so again, this is gonna be a direct replacement piece as well. Oh yes. Beautiful, beautiful piece. I love carbon so much. It's like freaking artwork to me. So that's gonna be a really nice piece to add as well. Let's get to it. And just to show you guys here how much better this is going to look being in carbon, I'm gonna do a little side-by-side comparison of that versus all of this amazingness. Super awesome. All right, so back at it here, we're gonna go ahead and remove the DME cover first. It's the easiest thing. So what we need to do in order to get here is we need to unscrew the top part of the strut tower brace here. And if you don't have an aftermarket one, your stock bolts will be 15s, mine are 13s. So we'll go ahead and remove all 4 of these. Comes just off just like that. And this is just compression fitted in here, so you just need to pull up on it. One in the front, one in the back, and kind of navigate it out from these little fuel lines here. All right, so you'll see that there are these two here, these 2 little feet that compression fit, and then this back here slides in back here. So you just kind of finagle it out behind the fuel lines there. And then the replacement is just as easy. So we need to put this little tab in first down here in the back and finagle it underneath the wires at the same time. Just like so. Very good. And there's the new one. So at this point we go ahead and reinstall the strut brace and tighten them down. And if you guys are curious about the weight savings on the DME cover, it's pretty negligible. I mean, a couple grams here and there, but not a ton. I think this is gonna be more of the weight savings because this is a big solid heavy metal piece and we're replacing with carbon. So at this point, what we need to do is remove all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. One here, and then we'll also have to remove these plastic pieces and transfer them over to the carbon. And for me, since I have these Downstar bolts, these are going to be the 6mm Allen. I don't recall the stock ones, maybe a 13 or a 15. And then these down here are a little bit smaller. Okay, so after removing those on top, I also removed the 2 over here. So in my case, these were 5mm, so there's one there, one down there. And what we need to do is get access to this underside here. There's a couple screws there that we need to remove, and in order to do that, we need to remove this plastic piece here. And so you'll see that we've got these plastic rivets. So I've already kind of started pulling this one out, but you'll see that this has a plastic little tab here that goes inside of there. So use a little plastic trim tool. This is what I'm using. And we'll just need to put it in between here to wedge it up, pull out the pin, and then you'll have to use a plastic trim tool again to get underneath the underside here, just like that. So that's how it comes out, compression fitted. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, there's one here, 5, 6, in order to get that piece out. And once you've removed all those, you should be able to pull up this little leather stripping here. Just comes right off. Kind of move this up out of the way, and this whole piece will come out, just like so. And then what you're gonna need to do is, there's a couple Torx screws. There's one here, one here, one here, that we're gonna have to remove as well. And these 3 here are gonna be T30 screws. So again, one there, one here in the center, and one over here. So I will say there are quite a few things you need to take off in order to remove the shroud, but next up, after you remove those 3, you'll take a T40 and remove these 2 right here on this side, and these 2 on this side. After that, you can pull this little cable off, just kind of tucked in there, just like so. Move that kind of up out of the way. And what I think is probably the hardest there are 4 more of these kind of plastic rivet type screws, or clips, whatever you want to call them. So there are 4 of those. There's one here, 2, 3, 4. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at the new one here, and you can see what exactly needs to be removed. So you'll see where these are, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in order to kind of get down here, it might be a little bit difficult. I think what I'm gonna do is actually take this screw out, all of these Torx screws out, this one over here, and that will allow me to pull this part of the bumper forward in order to get my hand back in there, and then we should be able to get those out. So these, I believe, are going to be, let's see, this is a T30, so all of these little screws on top are going to be T30s. This would also be a T30, but since I've replaced it with a Downstar, that's going to be a, for me, it's going to be a, let's see, 5mm. So 5mm there, and then the Torx screws there. And so by removing those, you'll see that we've got a little bit of flex here. So that allows me to get my little trim tool in here in order to get these clips out without dropping them. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. I will say those 4 little clips are the scariest ones to remove because you don't want to have to drop them back down into the abyss. So now that we've got that, we should be able to pull this out, and we'll work on getting these plastic things off in just a moment, but we'll just lift up and kind of slide out. Like so. Try not to scratch anything on the way out. Just like that. And there you go. This is what it looks like without the shroud. So this is going to be your radiator back here. This is also a good time if you had a different heat exchanger to put on. You could easily access this stuff at this point. But yeah, pretty simple to remove. Just follow the instructions that I've given you and you should be good to go. And here's a side-by-side comparison of the stock versus the carbon one. The weight savings is pretty significant because again, this is full metal. Oops, pretty heavy, versus the carbon one over there, which is virtually weighs nothing. So we're going to save quite a few pounds on the front end of the car. As I mentioned, we did shed a little bit of weight here on the DME cover, but pretty negligible. The weight savings here on the radiator shroud is pretty significant. So we're actually saving 4.85 pounds just to switch from the metal to the carbon. So I would say that's a pretty significant chunk considering it's just one little piece that we've removed and replaced. So we will be shedding 4.85 pounds off of the nose of the car, which is awesome. All right, so at this point of the install, we just need to go ahead and reinstall the exact same way that we removed the stock one, and we should be good to go. And before we forget here, don't forget to take these plastic things off. Basically, I'm just taking a little trim tool here and I'm wedging underneath, kind of going around all four corners. Basically, this is holding it in place. So these little tabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, you kind of got to go around each one, push in and release the tension and it'll come out. I don't know about you guys, but I think this install was totally worth it. Obviously the radiator shroud took a little bit longer time just because there's a lot of bolts and things you need to remove in order to get the OEM one out, but totally worth it. I mean, take a look at this. All right, you guys, this looks absolutely stunning, absolutely incredible. Fantastic fitment again from Northwest Carbon Haus. And man, huge shout out to those guys for sending this stuff over to me. It just really completes the whole engine bay. You know, this engine bay wasn't the prettiest thing from stock, and I normally don't, really care to do modifications appearance-wise that are under the hood, but the stock one, the stock body under here, but the way it looks in stock form under the hood is just not great, and this just magnifies everything and takes it to the next level. I'm actually super proud of the way this thing looks now, and I was already getting good feedback before, popping the hood and having the color matched engine cover and having the little bits of carbon and the downstar bolts, but now that we've got the carbon shroud here in the front and the carbon DME cover to all match everything, it just takes it to a whole new level. All right guys, so that wraps up the install for the shroud as well as the DME cover. I am going to go ahead and install this in the interior, but again, it's just some double-sided tape, so it fits right on top of the OEM one. I'll show you that here in a minute. And finally, just to complete everything here in the interior, super easy to install. Took literally 5 seconds. Take the back side of the tape off, stick it on, good to go. So now we've got all matching carbon in here. The weave is the same direction and everything, super high quality, looks great. All right guys, so that wraps up today's video install on the G80. Once again, huge shout out to the guys over at Northwest Carbon Haus for sending this stuff over to me. If you guys are looking for this piece or that front lip or carbon air ducts or a plethora of other carbon fiber parts for your car, definitely check out Northwest Carbon Haus. I'll have a link in the description below of these particular parts, and as well as a discount code because they are a sponsor on the channel. So a discount code will be there in the video description for you guys to take advantage of if you want to save a little bit of money as well. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. I think this just takes the engine bay to a whole nother level, and I'm super excited to show this off over at Beamer Invasion in Orlando on February 17th. So again, I will be there a few days before and then leaving the 18th. So yeah, definitely come over to the Northwest Carbon Haus booth in order to say hello and check out the car. And yeah, I'd love to meet you guys, and I guess that's it. So we'll see you guys on the next video. I've got plenty of other things to do to this car. Even though it seems like there's not much left, there's always something. So stay tuned, plenty more to do, as well as plenty more to do on the 2002 project car. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, thanks for watching. See you later.